Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGen Ed. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts, like the chart behind me, which is of SoFi Technologies, ticker symbol SOFI. And here I am recording this on Saturday, June 15th, after the market closed on Friday, with SoFi closing the week at a price of $6.46, being down 5% on the day. And so I wanted to go over the chart because it had looked like it might be getting out of this downtrend here, but it does look like we got a fake outbreak, and I do think the price is going lower. And so I just wanted to go over some of the levels that stand out to me because I do think we will be seeing SoFi at $6 a share. And so, while I think there might be a dip buy down there, I don't think we're there yet. And, I do think it is chasing a falling knife at this point. So yeah, I just want to go over the chart because I did see somebody post about it, and I do like covering SoFi. Although, for me, it is not at a buy level just yet, but it does seem like it is on the way. And so here, looking at the chart, I had this line marked here at $7.18. That was the high hit on May 1st. And it does look like on the 12th of June, we got a wick above that, hitting a high of $7.43 on the day. We opened at $7.17 on that day, so just below that level, but then closed below at $7.07, just above this yellow trend line, which I'll go over in a second, where that originates from. And so on that day, on the 12th, we got a break out of this downtrend, but we closed just above it, and then the following day we couldn't get a confirming close outside of that downtrend, which would be a close above that day's high. And so that was, like I said, $7.43. Also, with this pattern here, big wick to the top side and a close in the bottom quarter. Really, in the bottom, 10% or so of the trading for that day, that does suggest a topping signal with that big wick up, an inverted hammer following this up move. And that is exactly what we saw going down on Thursday, almost 4%. And then, like I said, 5% on Friday. And we did get, a gap between Thursday and Friday coming down. We couldn't fill it exactly. The close on Thursday was at a price of $7.13, whereas the high on Friday was $6.77. So there is still a gap there, but I do think that the momentum will continue to pull the price down as we do see volume going up as price is coming down. That does suggest that the bottom is not in yet. But yeah, so just taking a step back, I wanted to go over this yellow downtrend. I did have it with this pivot point in previous videos at one of these other highs. I did adjust it to going from the high of December 27th as well as the high from March 4th. So that's how I get that level. And you can see that we've gotten, almost an attempt to break out here, but couldn't hold it. And then here we did get a wick up to that level on May 14th, and open above it, but then a close well below, being down 2.68% on May 15th, so got rejected from that level. And then, like I said here, not only getting above 718, but also, getting a breakout from that downtrend, and then this massive candle coming to the downside. So, I do think price is going to be going lower because it's just had so many attempts to break out and it just hasn't been able to make it. And like I've done in other videos, I did draw this purple line here right around $7 a share. And I had suggested right before earnings that we might be putting in a head and shoulders pattern. And following earnings, we did see a pretty massive move to the downside. Price has pulled back a lot. It has consolidated right around $7 a share, but it, like I said, has not been able to break higher, and it does look like we are going to be going lower. And so from this head and shoulders pattern, what I've done in previous videos is take a measurement from the top of the head down to the neckline to get an idea of where price could be going. And that's exactly what I have drawn here. I just didn't adjust it, for time's sake of this video, but that would be bringing price down to exactly $6 a share. But does that make sense? Just because I can do a measurement doesn't mean price is going to go to that level. So what are some other signs that suggest price could be going down there? One is just that $6 being a round whole number. We like to have zeros in our prices, and so price could be coming down to that level, maybe finding some support there, but I do think it might be going a little bit lower. Other signs, like I had mentioned, volume is increasing as we are seeing gaps to the downside, so not looking so good there. Also a massive rejection from this notable trend line. Then I also do have some other levels marked here from this Fibonacci retracement, going from the low of March 19th up to the high of April 9th. We can see that the 1618 extension from that retracement is right around $6.14, so pretty similar to $6 a share. So, we could be going down that way. Also, we did break below this low of $6.82, which was hit on March 19th. We have gotten other breaks below it, but for the most part, we have held it. But now with this gap to the downside and a 5% move down, it does look like we have lost that level, and we really need to be finding some support to the downside. And another thing that I can do similar to this Fibonacci retracement is I can do a Fibonacci extension going from the high up here of $9.18 that was hit on February 28th, coming down to the low here, 682, and then back up to this high at 794 hit on April 9th. So I'm just going to do that extension going from those levels, just doing it approximate here, and then I will adjust it here so I do have those numbers to the penny, as you can see, just being a penny off and basically all of these, but that should be perfect there. And so that does give us some idea of levels that might be acting as support. And interestingly, the 618 from that extension, that Fibonacci extension, does coincide with current price, the 618 being at a price of $6.48, closing just 2 pennies below it. So, I don't think that's too massive, but like I said, there are a confluence of levels down here right around $6 a share. So while maybe we will see some consolidation around $6.50, I do think that would be a bear flag and that we would be seeing a break of this level and a continuation to the downside. Unfortunately, but good to be thinking about that and be preparing for the worst. And then so you might notice that I do have that blue line down there, and taking a step back, we can see there are actually 2 blue lines to the downside, and blue lines tend to be gaps as the way that I like to use them. And so right around $6 a share, we actually have a gap at $6.03. So if I just zoom in here, we can see that was the close hit on May 30th of 2023, close of $6.03. And so the trading day before that, May 26th, we closed at $5.41. So, there are 2 gaps there, and just below that, I believe the all-time low for the stock was $4.24. And, from that level up to these gaps, from what I can tell, any gaps that were formed, they have been filled. So these are the only gaps to the downside. And also you might notice I do have this yellow uptrend, and that actually goes above both of these gaps, basically coinciding with the $6.03 gap right now. But if we do break that, if we do go lower, $5.41. If that gap is filled, we have no more gaps to the downside. And we also do have the 100% level from that Fibonacci extension that I just drew. That is at $5.57. So, while I know it's not something anybody wants to hear, I know SoFi is a favorite, but I do think that we will be seeing price coming down to at least $6 a share to fill this top gap. Maybe this lower gap is never filled. Maybe it's left behind. That is quite possible, as gaps don't always get filled. But from current price, I do think we will be seeing a drop of about 50 cents. So, I just wanted to put this video out there to share my thoughts on that because, I think SoFi is a very appealing stock to hold. But right now, it looks like it's going down, and I do think there will be discounted shares in the next week or two ahead. Maybe it takes longer. Maybe we do get some consolidation around current price, but I don't think that is going to hold. I think it will break, and $6 a share, if not lower, if not 541, will be on the table soon, and I think those could be excellent dip buying opportunities. But those are just my thoughts. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks a lot for watching.